This program is sponsored by Dave Stahl.
It's time to get educated on your Second Amendment right. It's time to get locked and loaded with 2 full hours of Gun Sports Radio. Your hosts Dave Stahl, Lance Pelkey, and Michael Schwartz will teach you anything and everything there is to know about firearms, self-defense, and the laws that affect your American right to own and bear arms. Visit gunsportsradio.com with your questions and comments, or to learn how to become a sponsor and or guest of the show. Now, here's your hosts, Dave, Lance, and Michael.
All right, folks, welcome to Gun Sports Radio. We all had a great Thanksgiving, and yes, you can find our show on your favorite podcast platform. It's simple, at gunsportsradio.com. That's gunsportsradio.com. And remember, don't forget, we're 2 hours now, so don't pack your bags after the first hour. You'll definitely want to hang out and listen to us at 5 o'clock Pacific time. Hey, our first hour sponsor is Firearms Legal Protection. What a great bunch of folks. This hour is brought to you by our good friends at Firearms Legal Protection. That's Firearms Legal Protection is the best legal protection for self-defense. Check them out and their website and see why at firearmslegal.com they couldn't help you. Hey, are you thinking about doing a kitchen remodel, a room addition, or build your dream house? Well, TDT Construction does it all. Don't overpay. Call TDT Construction today at 619-448-2353. That's 619-448-2353. Or visit them at their website at tdtbuild.com. That's tdtbuild.com. And remember, they're a AAA or A-plus rated for the BBB. Hey, do you need to take a CCW class? Maybe you thought you bought a gun, now you need to take a class. Well, if you are looking to get a CCW here in San Diego, or maybe Arizona, Florida, or other multi-state CCWs, visit ccwusa.com. CCW USA offers small classes, sizes, and expert instructions to fit your schedule and your wallet. 3 classes every month, 2 weekend classes, and 1 Friday class. That's Friday, December 13th, or Saturday, December 13th. Well, that's kind of gone by, so next one is December 7th or the 21st. Private lessons, too, all to meet your busy schedule. Check their website for details and how to apply for your CCW. Just go to www.ccwusa.com. All right, gentlemen, how we doing?
Thanksgiving was awesome. I made jambalaya.
I seen that.
It was awesome.
Didn't invite anybody, I noticed.
Well, that's
you ate it all yourself.
More for me and my beautiful wife Laura. How about you guys? You guys all have turkey?
Had 2 turkeys because the kids both had to work on Thanksgiving. So we did Thanksgiving Wednesday, did Thanksgiving again on Thursday.
What about Eileen?
Let's see. Eileen made Madison made macaroni and cheese. She made Herbie cheddar rolls. Eileen made sweet potatoes, green bean casserole, mashed potatoes, stuffing made with bread and sea stuff, grilled seared broccoli, corn casserole a la Billy, oven roasted breast of turkey and fresh gravy, tenderloin and point wine sauce, fresh salmon poached in olive oil, some salad, and on and on and on, and then the desserts.
No dinner rolls, though. I want to introduce you to somebody, Dave.
Yeah, who you got?
It's my buddy Graham. Graham is our most recent San Diego County Gun Owners board member. Say hi, Graham.
Good afternoon. Good to be here.
Graham's awesome. We were actually just working on a new program that we're calling Tabletops at Gun Shops, and I wanted Graham to just touch on it, talk to people about what you're helping to organize.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've been doing this probably about for the past 6 months with great success. We've done it at various gun shops throughout San Diego County. I think they love having us. We've interfaced and worked with a lot of people who are curious about all things gun related in San Diego County. CCW is currently a hot topic, obviously, so we provide a lot of information about that and expose them to San Diego County gun owners.
Yeah, and the idea is to get people involved. That's really what we're trying to do with San Diego County gun owners, is get people involved in meaningful activism, get them doing, recruit, basically gathering the 2 things that count when it comes to politics, and that's money and people. So getting the word out, getting people involved in San Diego County gun owners, signing them up to be members. But the idea was, we didn't have a gun show for basically a year. Of course, we have one coming up on the 14th and 15th. We're going to be there. Gun Sports Radio is going to be there. So everybody, please show up Saturday, Sunday. We'll be there Sunday afternoon. San Diego County Gun Owners will be there all weekend. But that was a big, it's a huge opportunity for us to talk to the gun community. And we thought, well, for a year we didn't have it. We thought, well, what can we do? And so Graham really came up with the idea of having these tabletops at gun shops. So if people, what would they do? So if somebody wanted to, get involved, how would they contact us, and what exactly would they be doing?
So they can, if they go to the website, SDCGO.org, we have email addresses on there, or if they attend any one of our monthly meetings, there's 3 of them or 4 of them here now. If they show up to one of those meetings, that's probably one of the best places to talk to us about it. And we have sign-up sheets there. And then on occasion, we'll also send out an email with a volunteer sign-up where people who are interested in spending 3 or 4 hours on a Saturday or Sunday can do so. And we give them all the materials and run them through the whole process on how to do it and what to talk about.
And what a great idea, because when you go on social media, Facebook and Instagram, you see all these people complaining all the time about gun laws and all this other stuff. Mm-hmm. And here these guys are out there actually at the gun stores. I mean, so here's the solution. Join San Diego County Gun Owners. And by the way, for those of you who are listening, if you're outside of San Diego County, you're listening on the podcast, join San Diego County Gun Owners. The fight is here in California. So you can join. You don't need to be here in San Diego County. Of course, we love it that you do, but the solution.
Well, we're all over. So, Graham, you jumped in with both feet. You came in strong with San Diego County Gun Owners, and so we said, all right, we're putting you on the board. You're working too hard, so you got to
work harder.
Right. We've voluntold you to get on the board, and you're doing a great job. But what was the catalyst? Like, what made you go, you know what, I got to get involved?
So, been in San Diego for about 10 years, originally from Ohio, but like a lot of people, just a little bit frustrated with the gun laws in San Diego. But rather than being one of the guys on the sidelines, just complaining about it, that there's something to be done. So I didn't know exactly what that how was until I came across San Diego County Gun Owners and realized that you can have a greater impact than just complaining about it on the sidelines.
How did you find us?
I was just going to say, how'd you find them?
I think it was just on the World Wide Web, just searching for gun organizations, and I think the top hit was San Diego County Gun Owners, and it piqued my interest.
Nice.
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. Yeah, no, that's truly a great organization.
Well, it's because of people like Graham.
That's right.
And Joe and Lance and yourself and everybody.
And you. I mean, you're the catalyst. I mean, I don't think anybody. You work harder now than you ever worked in the bank or the financial world.
Thank God.
God. You're working you're loving what you're doing.
I do love what I do. And we just started this coming up week. We're going to start taking memberships for San Bernardino County Gun Owners. So that'll be our 4th
group
county pack. Yeah. San Diego, Orange, Riverside, and now San Bernardino.
You keep that up. The big boys are going to start nosing around, and you're ready for them.
We are happy to provide leadership.
Yeah. So have you got the voter guide all done?
Yes. Our voter, it's out. This is our first round. We're going to add a bunch more in January, and we'll probably add a few more throughout the year because, the first big election is in March. Early part of March, but a lot of the local races where we focused in city council and county races, a lot of those happen in November. They don't have a primary; they have it just in the general. So we're going to add a bunch of people, and then as we get closer to the November election, we're going to add even more. But stay tuned to the next break. We're actually going to have the mayor of Coronado, Richard Bailey, come on.
All right.
And he's going to talk about our voter guide and kind of give some insight into the races that we chose to endorse in. And you'll get to hear about, exactly what's going on across the county.
Sure. All right. We're going to take a quick break, folks. You are listening to Gun Sports Radio, FM 96.1, AM 1170.
The Answer.
All right, folks, welcome back. You are listening to Gun Sports Radio, FM 96.1, AM 1170.
The Answer.
Hey, do you know what's the best defense for self-defense against these horrible red flag laws? Firearms Legal Protection. Mike, Lance, and I use them. Firearms Legal Protection is the legal defense program for lawful gun owners with a 24/7 emergency hotline and plans designed specifically for the firearm owner. Talk to the good folks at Firearms Legal Protection today. That's Firearms Legal Protection at firearmslegal.com, or call them at 469-310-9100. That's 469-310-9100, or firearmslegal.com. Gun owners, be ready with a lawyer in your corner. California's assault weapons laws makes it almost impossible to own an AR pattern rifle. What's the solution? Cali Key. Cali Key converts any mil-spec direct impingement AR platform rifle into a straight pull-bolt action rifle so it can have all the features without being considered an assault weapon. It's a true drop-in solution. No milling, no aesthetic modifications, and no turning off your gas system. Keep your entire AR collection intact at a price you can afford with Cali Key. Check out Cali Key at calikey.com. That's KALIKEY.com. Home mortgage interest rates have been dropping like crazy and yet another low. And if you're looking to buy, refi, or even consider a reverse mortgage, you need to call our friends at PRMI Mortgage. That's Chris Wiley. For nearly 25 years, Chris has been helping folks out with their mortgage situations, and he is very well respected. So with all these mortgage needs, just give Chris a call, 619-722-1303, 619-722-1303, or just go to primeres.com/Alpine. All right, so Lance, we have a special guest on the line. We've got the mayor of Coronado, our good buddy, Richard Bailey.
Richard Bailey, how's it going, man?
Hey, doing great. Thanks. How about yourselves?
Excellent. Thank you for coming on, Mayor. I really appreciate it.
Hey, it's my pleasure. Always a fan of you guys.
So San Diego County Gun Owners, it's an organization you're familiar with. We just released our voter guide, our first round of endorsements of the some folks that we're familiar with, that we know we've maybe endorsed in the past, or they're longtime members, people that we're very, very comfortable with endorsing. And so I asked you to come on the show today to talk about some of the local races and give your feedback on some of the endorsements, and maybe give us some insight on opponents and that sort of thing. So where would you like to start?
Absolutely. Well, I think let's start with the county supervisor race between Joel Anderson and Mayor Steve Voss.
Absolutely. We endorsed Joel, which was and there's a Democrat in that race as well. But I don't really. How do you? The viability of the Democrat in that race seems to be kind of. Well, give us your feedback. What are your thoughts on that race?
Yeah, so this is probably considered to be the safest Republican county seat throughout all of San Diego County. The race is likely to be won in the March election, which simply means that either Joel Anderson or Mayor Steve Voss, whichever one of those two gentlemen prevail in March and finish in the top two, is almost certainly guaranteed to win in the November election. So much so that you really see the Democrats turning their attention away from this race because they don't think it's very viable for them to win, which really makes the endorsement of the San Diego County gun owners all that more important in this race, especially given that so many voters in that district are Second Amendment voters.
Yeah, I agree. And it was kind of interesting on the Democrat side. They had a candidate, Tom Lemon, right? Is that his name?
So Tom was, yes, he's a big union guy, worked for the union for many years. However, he had pulled out of the race, and the reason people suspect he pulled out of the race is that they didn't really think it was very viable for them to win. And so I think that still holds true today, and barring some type of scandal that no one's aware of at this moment, I think either Joel Anderson or Steve Voss will prevail in that race come November. Yeah,
there were some other whispers as to why he pulled out too, but he was not a candidate, or he's no longer a candidate. And but the surprising thing about him is, was actually a contender when it came to our endorsement, because he's a rancher. He was actually, he's a Democrat, and I know people like to think that, hey, all Republicans are good on guns, all Democrats are bad on guns. That's simply not true. But he was a guy that we were entertaining the endorsement for. So we endorsed Joel Anderson. What's your thought? Do we make the right choice, or who do you think has the inside track, or is it a coin toss?
I think at this point it's probably a coin toss. I'll tell you the polling that's been released publicly, that's been done by independent third-party groups, show that Steve Voss has maybe an inside track once voters are informed of the resumes of both individuals, both pro and negative, and that's really where campaigns come into play. The objective of the campaign is to introduce yourself to voters who do not know who you are and make the case for why you should win. The poll suggests that if Mayor Voss is successful with his campaign, that he should ultimately prevail. However, if you know anything about Joel Anderson, you know that he's a fighter. He's been representing that district for many years, and so I would say that at this point, it's a coin toss.
Excellent. All right. Well, how else? What's another race that we endorsed in that you thought was interesting?
Well, one of the other, I really think that the complexion of the entire San Diego County politics, for me, really hinges on two boards. The board of the San Diego County Supervisors, because it is likely to be a 3-2 Republican-Democrat majority or a 3-2 Democrat to Republican majority. And of course, whichever party controls the majority on the San Diego County Board of Supervisors appoints representatives to other boards as well, such as SANDAG, which has an outsized influence on regional housing and transportation policies. The other board, which I think could go either way, is actually the City Council for Carlsbad. Of course, San Diego County Gun Owners has endorsed Keith Blackburn, which I think is a great decision.
Yeah, he's a good
no
guy.
question about that. I'm hoping you guys can help field a candidate to take on Corey Schumacher, who's a councilwoman up in Carlsbad, and the path to the majority on the Carlsbad City Council really goes through her race. And so far, I haven't seen anyone step up, but I think Keith was a great endorsement, and hopefully we can find some other good candidates to run on that council seat as well.
Well, I've met with Corey, and she's I don't know. She's not necessarily. We'll see. I mean, what? Tell us a little bit more about. I mean, as far as guns go, as far as Second Amendment issues go, she's somebody that I think we're going to entertain. We haven't endorsed yet, but she's a gun owner. She's someone who had a lot of questions and was very thoughtful and was fairly supportive. But what are your thoughts on that, on her race and what we should do in that race?
You know what, Mike, that's a really good question, and actually it speaks to the integrity of the San Diego County Gun Owners. From the very beginning, the San Diego County Gun Owners has really held itself out as, hey, we are a single-issue organization. We are going to support the candidate that is best on Second Amendment rights, regardless if they're Republican or Democrat. And credit to the San Diego County Gun Owners, credit to you and the entire board for really sticking to that, because you're absolutely right that Councilmember Schumacher has, based on your interactions with her, been great on the Second Amendment.
Good, well, let's say good. Maybe not great, but let's say good for now. We might say great later, but let's just say she's been good for now.
Hopefully we'll say great for all the candidates in the future. But yeah, at the very least, that has been good for now, and that's largely due to your advocacy on that. So I think she's probably good on the Second Amendment, and then I think she's probably out of line with more conventional conservative policies on, say, transportation, on taxes, on housing, et cetera. So this is an area where I think everyone who's a member of the San Diego County Gun Owners can look to the people that you endorse, the San Diego County Gun Owners endorse, and have confidence that if San Diego County Gun Owners have given those candidates their stamp of approval, those candidates are actually good on the Second Amendment, because You're right. You're not swayed by, is this candidate a Republican or a Democrat? It really comes down to simply the Second Amendment issue.
Well, what about Marco Cisneros, who's running in school board, young guy, very new to politics, very motivated, big volunteer with San Diego County Gun Owners, really great guy. He's running against an incumbent who is kind of the old man of the school board there in San Diego. And, San Diego Unified has made some pretty weird decisions especially when it comes to firearms and gun ownership, Second Amendment, that sort of thing. So what do you think of our decision? What do you think of Marco? What do you think of our decision to endorse Marco Cisneros? And give us some thoughts on that race.
Yeah, so that's going to be a really tough race for a number of reasons. One, simply the size of the district. Fundraising for that race is really difficult. So I think Marco is in for a long, tough battle. However, anyone that's met Marco, you instantly like the guy. He's a very, very pure individual, heart of gold. And he's the type of individual that we on the pro Second Amendment policy side really need to be cultivating these types of young leaders to encourage them to run for office. I've met with Marco myself, found him to be a very impressive young man, and
motivated and smart and passionate.
Everything motivated, smart, passionate, and all for the right reasons too. He's certainly not in it for himself. He has a heart of service. Yeah. And I think that will bode well for him in this race. But it's going to be difficult. Now, keep in mind, if Marco is successful in this race, I have no doubt he'll be able to make good policy decisions for the district, and move up. And then who knows from there?
Yeah, who knows from there?
Very well going to serve on the San Diego City Council or beyond.
So before we wrap up, big news this weekend is we have a new candidate for mayor of San Diego, the biggest city in the county. I don't know. Did you read the announcement yet?
I did. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Mr. Sherman.
Yeah, Scott Sherman on the city council.
Yay.
Rock solid on Second Amendment issues. Really good guy. Longtime supporter of San Diego County Gun Owners. San Diego County Gun Owners is a supporter of his. We haven't endorsed him yet because he just announced. But what do you think of that? Does he have a shot? I mean, they got some big shots on the Democratic side. They've been at it for a year and a half running. How's it going to look for Scott?
That's right. So up until this date, the race has really been dominated by Councilmember Barbara Bree and State Assembly Member Todd Gloria. And the conventional wisdom is that it will either be one of those two that ultimately prevail. But look, we have a Republican mayor in San Diego right now, and Kevin Faulconer. So it is certainly possible. There is a path to victory for Councilmember Sherman to prevail come November. So I'm really excited about his candidacy. I think it's going to force the conversation to move to the right direction on all issues in the city of San Diego, and even on the Second Amendment issue as well. You've seen a city attorney and a San Diego council that has really, in my opinion, gone outside of the mainstream with some of their anti-gun policies, and I think Scott Sherman is the type of guy that can hold them accountable for those decisions and really paint a stark contrast between himself and either Barbara Bree or Todd Gloria.
Well, Mayor, I really appreciate your time. Anybody that wants to see our voter guide, go to SanDiegoCountyGunOwners.com or SDCGO.org, SanDiegoCountyGunOwners.com. That's our website. Check us out on Facebook. There's one other political superstar that we haven't talked about that we endorsed, and that's a mayor out in Coronado named Richard Bailey, who's done awesome work, and I really appreciate everything you've done. I truly think the world of you, personally and politically, and I just think you're absolutely a superstar when it comes to politics, and I wish you the very best on your race, and we look forward to supporting you as an endorsed candidate. And everybody get involved, guys. These candidates are working hard for us. We found some pro-Second Amendment candidates that are fighting for your Second Amendment rights. We need you to get involved. We need to get these folks elected. So thank you very much, Mayor. Appreciate you coming on.
Hey, thank you, Mike. I'm a big fan of you and your organization as well, and I appreciate the endorsement.
All right, good deal, man. All right, we're going to take a quick break because we got a whole lot more right here on FM 96.1, AM 1170.
The Answer.
Hey, have you ever been there, folks, to Errol Sword in El Cajon? They've got the widest selection of guns in San Diego County with over 600 unique guns in stock, including hundreds of used guns. Go see their full-service experienced gunsmith. They can do everything from mild repairs to full custom firearms. A.O. Sword Firearms Store, located at 929 East Main Street in the city of El Cajon. Go to their website at aosword.com, or you can call them at 619-749-4867. You can build, buy, or repair. A.O. Sword Firearms is your go-to place for all things firearms. That's aosword.com, Or like I said, give them a call at 619-749-4867.
So speaking of AO Sword, we actually did a tabletop at a gun shop at AO Sword this weekend. They had a big Black Friday sale, and we really appreciate them letting us set up and talk to people about our voter guide like we talked about in the last segment. And I'll tell you, that announcement with Scott Sherman is huge.
It is huge.
Yeah, it is.
No,
it's big. So there's 3.5 million people in the county, and there are 18 city councils, and just under half the county is the city of San Diego. So there's 17 other city councils that include, like San Marcos and Santee and a lot of these other cities. It's funny, a lot of these other cities have 50, 60,000 people, which is it's not like some small town. I mean, any other place in the country, and these would be pretty major cities, but for the enormous population of the city of San Diego.
That's why it's so important too for people to get involved in this stuff, because like we were saying, we can influence these city council elections, and getting pro Second Amendment people elected to these city councils in the other 17 cities in the county is significant, because like we've all learned out here, you can get people at this local level that are anti-Second Amendment, and they can make it really tough for the shops, for the ranges, for gun owners in general. So it's really important to get involved and to do something like that.
Well, it is, and Scott Sherman's a guy who has actually stood up and done something. He's a guy that's actually on the city council, voted against, spoken out against. He's actually shown up and said, "Yeah, I'm pro Second Amendment, and this is something that's important to us." Which, look, Mayor Faulkner has, is not anti-gun, but honestly, he hasn't really done much to support us. I mean, he's done some things behind the scenes. I know he's been approached by, some of these anti-gun groups, and he's, shut the door in their face. But the other side of that is, when have you ever seen him support us? He's not been vocal, right? He hasn't said anything, like, hey, I support whatever. Mostly he's just kind of tried to avoid the thing. Imagine if we have a guy in a position like that in the mayor seat of San Diego, one of the biggest cities, not just in California, but in the country, who's able to say, yeah, this stuff's important. Law-abiding, sane, trained gun ownership and gun owners are important, because right now, I mean, we're getting hammered by the city attorney. We're getting hammered by the city council. They're villainizing us. So, when people get, oh, gee, what can we do? What can we possibly do? This is a huge opportunity.
See, and that's why, and words are important too. When someone like the mayor says something, even if they don't have, direct authority or control over the specific subject, just by the fact that they are voicing that opinion and they are saying something, because of their position, their words carry weight. It's it has much more meaning if Mayor Faulkner says something than if I were to say those same exact words. So just by the authority of his position, those words carry power, and that's why I have a problem with these people that are going to work behind the scenes.
Right,
we'll support you, but I can't come out publicly and say anything. Well, you're not helping me if you can't do that. If you really believe in what you're saying, then get up and say it. And that was one of the things we talked a little bit about Joel Anderson earlier. One of the things you could say about Joel is, if he believes something, he'll state it. And, and that's what we need in our politicians, I think. This work behind the scenes days, I think, at least Second Amendment wise, are behind us.
Well, it's not a big secret. You're on the board. You voted. Joe and Lance, you're on the board. You voted, and we voted to endorse Joel Anderson. And it really, I don't think I'm speaking out of school here. It was because, and Graham, you were there and voted. It was because Joel has been so outspoken, and it's not that Steve is anti-gun. That's not accurate at all. But what really pushed us over the edge was how vocal Joel is, how willing he is to stand up and say, hey, these guys are the pillars of society. They're gun owners. Gun ownership's important, right? I mean,
I know that's true for me personally, and it seemed that way on the board. I don't want to speak for others, but that's how it seemed, certainly.
Well, you asked Steve Voss when it came down to the gun shows of the West being shut down by the bad guys, and why didn't Steve write a letter? And so, because it's a San Diego County fairground, and Steve said he didn't think it was his place to write a letter, and we disagreed.
Well, I think more people need to decide that it's their place.
Yes.
We need to say, hey, this is my voice. It's important. I've been elected to do something.
But that facility belongs to Poway just as much as it belongs to National City. It doesn't belong to the Del Martians.
A couple of weeks ago, I wrote a blog about a guy, and it's kind of unusual for me to do this, a guy who's running for San Marcos City Council. His name's Ed Musgrove, and we haven't endorsed or even considered endorsing him yet, but he sent in a questionnaire, and the questionnaire was so bad, I just had to go, you know what, this is wrong. This is not how it should be. People who are pro Second Amendment, but you have to understand that I'm not going to help you out in any way. This is the worst enemy to the Second Amendment in California. It's easy to point at Democrats or anti-gun or whatever, but the biggest problem are the people out there that pretend to be our friends and then refuse to do it.
Well, how about just people in general? How about just the population who just complains on Facebook and Instagram or moans and groans when we go to parties and doesn't actually do something themselves? To me, they're almost as bad as the politicians.
Sure. Well, and that's why the perception is so important. You have to get out there, because for just the general public that's listening, the more of that stuff they hear from our leaders that's anti-gun, the more they're swayed that way, and the more they tend to move that way, even though, it's not a fact-based thing. It's an emotional thing. Yeah. And people need to stand up. If you really believe in it, stand up
and show up. History is made by those who show up.
Individuals do. And look, and you're sending out people to the gun shops to try and help them. We do this radio show to try and help people.
Yeah, we have our events.
So we're giving the opportunity, folks, for you as an individual to step up. And we're not just complaining about the politicians not stepping up, but how about you?
We had a great guy up in Orange County. Orange County gun owners had their meeting last week, and had a great guy who said, I was kind of out of it as far as the Second Amendment goes. I'd owned guns for a long time, but I wasn't really doing anything. I wasn't engaged until he got an invite from a friend of his, went to Orange County's Second Amendment celebration dinner. And you think of these dinners or our Christmas party or some of our social events, and you think, it's a plate of chicken and a spotlight on a stage. No, these are events to get people motivated. He went to the Second Amendment celebration dinner up in Orange County.
That's really cool.
And said, "Hey, I'm in. I'm full in. I'm motivated. That's what got me re-engaged." And just showing up is half the battle.
Well, look, you got all these guys here. Graham, you look at Joe, Dave.
We don't even have enough mics.
Graham's
right.
Graham's the king of showing up, man. Graham is seriously the king of showing
awesome.
up. And just getting involved. But there's so much to do out there, with Scott Sherman running and our endorsed list, and Graham's doing the, tabletops at gun shops, which I'm so glad I could find a name that rhymed, I was like, we got to do, it's got a rhyme or alliteration or something in gun shops or tabletops at gun shops. Oh, I love it.
You just love that, don't you?
So happy.
All right, let's take a quick, before we take a quick break.
Easy, Dave.
If you need a lawyer, Gatsky, Dillon, and Balance, LLP. Go to www.cafirearmslaw.com or give John a call at 760-431-9501. John's working on a big lawsuit right now, so he's a little bit, how lawyers are. They work like 7 days a week. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We come back a whole lot more right here on Gun Sports Radio, FM 96.1, AM 1170.
The Answer.
All right, folks, welcome back. This is Gun Sports Radio. We're on FM 96.1, AM 1170.
The Answer.
So what's the best defense for self-defense in those horrible new red flag laws? Do you have any idea? We do. Firearms Legal Protection. Mike Lance and I use them. Firearms Legal Protection is the legal defense program for lawful gun owners with a 24/7 emergency hotline and plans designed specifically for the firearm owner. Talk to the good folks at Firearms Legal Protection today. That's Firearms Legal Protection at firearmslegal.com or call them at 469-310-9100. That's 469-310-9100. Gun owners, be ready with a lawyer in your corner, and firearmslegal.com is where you find one. Also, if you're looking for private lessons, maybe you're not into groups, well, John Groff is a CCW trainer, works out of the gun range San Diego. So if you're looking for an individual CCW trainer, He is it. John has been providing individual training classes for the first-timers and people renewing their permits for years. John can arrange a time to fit your schedule and an affordable price, calming professional demeanor. You'll love him. Call John Groff today at 619-933-4368. That's 619-933-4368. Or just stop by The Gun Range San Diego and ask for good old John. All right, this segment is brought to you by The Gun Range San Diego. Open 10 to 10, 7 days a week, 7853 Balboa Avenue in San Diego. Go to thegunrangesandiego.com for all of the services they provide, from first-time shooters to seasoned shooters. They got a beautiful indoor range. They've got range folks at every stall to take care of any of your questions and make sure you and everybody in the building is safe. And with that being said, we've got our good buddy Casey on the line, former Marine.
Oh. Yes. How's it going, everybody?
All right, drop down. Give me 10.
Long behind me.
You don't do that anymore?
Heck no. I'm allergic to that nowadays.
Speaking of Marines, so gosh,
I got him.
Gosh, Benelli puts out that M1014 shotgun. Holy smokes!
1014.
So
Did you buy
anyway,
it?
they hooked me up with that son of a gun.
You bought it.
It is so much fun. It is heavy.
Yep.
And it just shoots buckshot like you won't believe, and it takes that recoil. But I got to credit Michael Schwartz for getting me out shooting the shotgun again. Not that particular one, but with the sporting clays and that kind of stuff.
A little bit longer barrel.
A little bit longer barrel. So, Casey, what are you going to talk about? You got some shotgun news for us this segment?
Yeah, yep. It's always a good thing. Shotguns is one of the most well-known guns in the world. The iconic sound of the in the middle of the night when somebody's breaking in. It's a good pucker effect on that one. Let's just say that. Shotguns nowadays have really evolved far from the old single-shot double barrels or pump action ones. Now we have all these awesome semi-automatic shotguns like the M1014, like the one we use in the military, the one that Lance has. One of the newer shotguns that we have in here is the Beretta 1301 series. We have two of the models in. One will be the 1301 Tactical, which is an 18.5-inch barrel with a 4-round tube in one in the chamber. They actually cycle a little bit faster than the Benellis. Now, the Benellis will be more reliable to a point, but both of these will be extremely amazing shotguns. Price point, around $1,100, $1,200, around there, but, we wheel and deal around here. The other model of that will be the 1301 Competition. A lot of people love to use that for their 3 guns just because they already bevel the cylinder or the tube itself, so your reloads are a lot faster. And the actions on them, they already set them up for competitions. Now, perks of semi-automatic shotguns in comparison to, say, pump actions or whatnot is because you actually have that semi-automatic action that it's going to take away a lot of that recoil. Downside of that, you have to test a bunch of different rounds to find out which rounds your shotgun likes. There's a couple shotguns out there like the Rock Island VR80 that does not like light-loaded ammunition. You got to run some heavy buck or slugs in there for it to operate correctly. That's going to be a lot of these shotguns nowadays. But once you find that one round that it loves, stick with it because it will be one of the most reliable guns out there.
So, Casey, how does a consumer find out which gun and which ammo are work together? Because there's nothing worse than buying a gun from somebody that doesn't really have all the information. And then after your 10 days, you get it and you find out you hate it.
A lot of research, doing your own research, that's one of the biggest things. Go on all the forums because before you even think of a question, there's already about 100 people that have already thought about that and asking it. So that's the perks of it. A lot of people when it comes to, I wouldn't say a lot of it, but some people that come in, they're like, I've never really researched this gun, but I just kind of want it. I'm like, well, do a little research first. Make sure it's the firearm for you. We're here to sell guns, absolutely. But we're also here to sell you the gun for you, not just one that we like per se.
But you'd be a good source, wouldn't you?
Absolutely. If you guys have any other questions, just give us a call here. It's what we do.
Right.
Just call us, ask us questions in and out. Hey, what's your personal opinion on this? We got you. The perks of us having the range here is people bring in every sort of firearm. We get to see malfunctions left and right. Whatever's going on there, we usually have firsthand experience of it where I can say, hey, I've seen this shotgun before. I've used this shotgun before. I know this one does not particularly like this lighter load. Try this one. It has a better tendency to, like it, accept it, feed it.
And I'll tell you, San Diego, in fact, a lot of Southern California, in a lot of ways, we're kind of AR'd out. Yeah. Everybody's got like 47 ARs. And I know so many people that have no shotgun. And a shotgun is such a useful firearm. You got birdshot and buckshot and slug. And I took a shotgun. I took a 4-day shotgun class years ago now. And I remember thinking 4 days. Like, what are they going to teach in 4 days? What are they going to teach me? I didn't know what I didn't know. I didn't know what I didn't know.
It's everything,
Yeah, it's one of those. It's easy to use. It's hard to be great at, and it's one of the. I think that people that know what they're doing with shotguns are kind of the
right.
You know what I mean? It's kind of more professionals like shotguns. People that know what they're talking about.
Tactically proficient. Yeah, technically and tactically proficient. That's what we like to say in the shotgun world, because everybody always thinks, just pump the slide and go. Okay, yes, but with shotguns, you're usually packing around anywhere from 5 to 8 rounds. After that, you better be very, very, very fluid on your reloads, or else you're going to be sitting there with an empty gun. That's the thing that comes down to it. Yes, there's some magazine-fed shotguns will avoid those, but you have this tube, and you're loading it 1, maybe 2 rounds in at a time, or 1 round in the chamber, getting the gun back up and sitting there loading 1 round after 1 round after 1 round. It takes a lot of time, muscle memory, and practice to get proficient in shotguns. That's what a lot of people think. It's like, I'll just point it in their general direction. No. That's not how that works.
Casey, have you messed around with some of these magazine-fed shotguns that are coming out?
I've seen a couple of them, yeah. The thing about California is they hate everything with a magazine and a pistol grip, so it gets scary. There are some magazine-fed pump-action shotguns, which are pretty cool. They're usually big and bulky with some of the magazines, like their 10-round mag is just gigantic, so it's not really if you're going to be carrying more than 1 round around, you got these big, giant hunks of plastic on you. But when it comes to these semi-automatic ones, there's a couple out there, like the VR80 by Rock Island Armory. They have one that's California compliant that is semi-automatic, magazine-fed, and it's a break action like your fixed mag rifles, and it is California legal. I've seen mixed reviews on them. So first, they've been out for less than a year, so I'm kind of waiting for the Gen 2s to come out once they fix some of the things, but those are the ones, if you run higher velocity loads like buckshot or slugs, it likes them. It recycles them fast. I've shot them in here. There's low recoil. Anytime they try to do any bird shot or steel shot or lighter shots, I've seen them run into issues on that.
Well, listen, shotguns are amazing. If your budget is under $300, you can get a cool shotgun. The ones you're mentioning, the Berettas, are amazing for $1,100 to $1,300. That's actually that's a lot of money. Don't get me wrong, but that buys you a lot of shotgun, because there's a lot of them that are a lot more expensive for that. Even the auto ones. So there's one out there for every budget. Go see the good folks at Gun Range San Diego. See Casey and the rest of them. Also,
how many shotguns do you keep in the rental fleet?
About 5 to 6 at a time. They're pretty much always pump guns, just because they're the easiest and the easiest to take care of. We do put a Benelli M4 every once in a while out there that people just love shooting through, but I'll see what I can do. See if I can get another semi-automatic one out there for everybody. Yeah,
and that's kind of a good thing to do when you call in on let us know what's in the library, so to speak.
Absolutely. I've got a list right now. I'm going to get us some more off-roster firearms for us. That's the perks of us having the rental range. We can put them out there for people to shoot. I mean, it is a tease and to tantalize people, but hey, they're still fun to shoot.
That's the idea.
Yeah. The other shotgun out there, the Mossberg 930 SPX, that's probably one of our number one sellers. They run right at around $749. It's a 7+1 capacity, ghost ring sight, 18.5-inch barrel. You have 2 models with it, one with a pistol grip, one without, in a normal just shotgun stock. That's one I tend to prefer. But, when it comes down to it, if anybody ever has any questions, wants to know our inventory, just give us a call down here. We're always here, ready to help.
And there you are, man. 10 to 10, but I got to tell you that little 1014 of mine it absorbs the shock of the buckshot. It's because it's so heavy. It's like shooting a 45.
And that's a real 12-gauge shotgun?
It's the real deal, baby. It's awesome.
That's your 1014. That's your Benelli.
It's so much fun. Got it.
Yeah. Well, like you said, shotguns are, a lot of people just think they're for splattering.
And if you're looking for some training, we're going to have a guy on and stick around for the second hour. At the end of the second hour, we got Lance Reeder coming on talking about the charity shoot.
Oh,
so
yeah,
you can take your shotgun and do a 4-day shotgun day deal up there. Buy one at Gun Range San Diego.
All right, folks. Well, hey, don't touch that dial. We still got another hour coming up right here on Gun Sports Radio, FM 96.1, AM 1170.
The Answer.
This program is sponsored by Dave Stahl.